What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here and back with another news video. Now there's always lots going on in the wrestling world, but we've got your back. Join us now as Wrestlelamia brings you the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including Raw's ratings, how Kofi Kingston really feels about being squashed by Brock Lesnar, AEW flat out disses NXT in their new commercial, the real reason Dia Madden was replaced, and Seth Rollins hates the red light. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Also be sure to check out our Wrestlegamia channel, where we look at wrestling video game content. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story, as Raw ratings defy strong competition. The 2nd December edition of Monday Night Raw may not have been the Red Brand's best outing, but the WWE Universe helped it battle a strong performance from Monday Night Football. According to the Wrestling Observer Figure 4 online, Raw had what had to be considered good news on the ratings front, as Monday's show averaged 2.21 million viewers, up 5% from the prior week, and breaking a 3-week streak of the 3 least watched non-holiday episodes of the show dating back to 1997. The key to the good news is the Seahawks-Vikings Monday Night Football game did 14.03 million viewers, the second largest of the season. If you look at the last 3 weeks of Raw and expected rating of the football game, a record low could have easily happened. The only downside is the reoccurring problem of Raw being unable to keep its hour 1 audience. Note how the show's viewers tuned out after each hour. As Dave Meltzer observed, the bad news is the 20% first to third hour drop just missed the top 10 of all time. If the WWE could keep its hour 1 viewers, the show would feature a notable jump in the ratings. Hopefully next week's Go Home episode of Raw will be better. Next up, Kofi Kingston discusses his quick loss to Brock Lesnar. More than a few members of the WWE Universe were angry after Brock Lesnar squashed Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship during SmackDown's Fox premiere. However, what does Kofi think of his quick loss to the Beast Incarnate? In an exclusive interview with The Sun, the WWE's Dreadlock Dynamo had this to say: "I was in the same boat as everybody else. You never know what is going to happen that day when you get to the building. I would have loved to have a longer match because I feel like the story that Brock and I could have told could have been a lot more compelling than it was. At the same time, you realize it's a business, and what the boss wants at one point is what the boss wants. I let go of trying to control what I couldn't control a long time ago. That's not to say I didn't try to fight for a longer match or a more compelling story, but that's not the route they wanted to go. That's the nature of the business. You can be mad and complain and come to work miserable, but I had a 6-month title reign, which is few and far between. I got to achieve my dream, and I'm all about pushing forward, to strive to achieve great things rather than dwell in this dark space of negative energy. That's not me. I want to maximize my time here to achieve as much as I can." It's certainly refreshing to see an individual who not only preaches the power of positivity, but lives it. Hopefully Kofi will see the day where the strap is on his shoulders once again. Next up, did Seth Rollins help WWE Backstage's ratings? So how did WWE Backstage perform without CM Punk? Turns out the show improved from last week's Punkless episode, with WrestleZone noting, "Without Punk, the show took a considerable dip, pulling in 121,000 viewers last week. This week's episode came in at 138,000 viewers per Showbuzz Daily. That's an increase of 17,000 viewers from last week. Did Seth Rollins' appearance this week help the show, or was it a coincidence? WWE Backstage announced CM Punk will appear next week, so we'll see if the show gets a sizable ratings bump." Next up, Darby Allin is injured. AEW star Darby Allin's roughhouse style of wrestling may have sidelined him. He recently tweeted that, "I wish I was there." Next still, skull emoji. This show's sure to get wild. There's no word on the seriousness of Allin's condition, but whatever the case, we'll keep you updated and wish Darby Allin a speedy recovery. Next up, Samoa Joe being evaluated at the end of the year. Samoa Joe has been doing a good job on commentary on Raw, and with Dia Madden deciding to return to in-ring action, more on that later, Joe could be calling the action until he's cleared to wrestle. And when will Joe be cleared? It seems that he'll be medically evaluated at the end of the year. Hopefully Joe will be able to return very soon. Next up, Jon Moxley's acting ambitions. It wasn't that long ago that Jon Moxley seemed headed for Hollywood following his departure from the WWE. Then AEW came calling and Mox found a renewed love for the grappling game. However, is there still a desire to appear on the silver screen? During a recent chat with Chris Van Vliet, Moxley revealed, "I don't really consider myself an actor. If something comes along that's like perfect for me or just seems like fun, because I would do movies for the fun of them. The fight choreography and stuff is what's fun. I would almost rather be the stunt guy and not even worry about being in the movie. I'll just do the fight scene and stuff because it's fun to do. So if something like that pops up, but I'm not out there pounding the pavement, beating down doors like I have no aspirations to take on Hollywood or be some kind of Hollywood guy." Moxley stars in the upcoming film Cage Fighter, scheduled for a 2020 release. Are any of you gonna watch it? Next up, AEW Tickets Selling poorly in Cleveland? Or is this BS? AEW is scheduled for a show in Cleveland, Ohio on 29th January 2020. However, Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that tickets are not selling well. However, a quick review of the Cleveland State Wolstein Center's ticket site indicates otherwise. As you can see from the picture, there's only a few sections where it indicates that many seats are available, but at least 3/4 of the arena is grayed out, meaning that there's no tickets available. Either there's been a quick run on the seats since Meltzer's report, or he's sadly misinformed. Next up, a history-making match for the WWE's December MSG show. The WWE is returning to Madison Square Garden on 26 December, and the Mecca of professional wrestling will be home to a history-making match. The Garden's Twitter account announced, "Just announced, for the first time ever at MSG, the women's tag team titles will be defended inside a steel cage when Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair take on the Kabuki Warriors at the annual WWE Live Holiday Tour on December 26th. The 4 female fighters will also battle in another first for the Women's Tag Team Championship, a ladder match at the upcoming TLC pay-per-view. However, that hasn't been officially announced just yet." Next up, the real reason why Dia Madden was replaced. Now, it was reported in our previous video that Dia Madden has been replaced by Samoa Joe, with a backstory that Madden wants to focus on his wrestling career and has now returned to WWE's Performance Center. However, that might not be the actual reason why. The Wrestling Observer's Brian Alvarez reported, also a quick shout out to WrestlingNews.co for the quote, "Vince and Kevin Dunn didn't like Dia Madden on commentary, and they took him off commentary, and I think they were going to try and retrain him or whatever to do commentary, but now I guess he's decided he wants to be a wrestler again." In all fairness, even though Vince and Dunn didn't like his commentary, reportedly, Dia Madden at least gave a lot more effort on commentary than Jerry Lawler. That guy's just phoning it in worse than Brock Lesnar. Next up, a new AEW commercial goes after NXT. A new AEW commercial for Dynamite has people talking, but the talk isn't all good. Recently, AEW began airing a commercial targeting its Wednesday night rival. Fightful.com reports, during Tuesday's TNT broadcast of the Los Angeles Clippers vs Portland Trail Blazers, All Elite Wrestling aired a new commercial promoting AEW Dynamite. During the commercial, critical praise for AEW flashed across the screen, which is uncommon in commercials and trailers. However, this particular critical acclaim mentioned NXT, AEW's direct competitor on Wednesday nights. The praise stated AEW Dynamite crushes NXT via comic book, AEW Dynamite trounces NXT via Forbes, and AEW Dynamite buries NXT via The Wrap. All 3 quotes come from articles written after the first week both shows went head-to-head, that being October 2nd, and were in reference to AEW Dynamite defeating NXT in the ratings and viewership. NXT drew 891,000 viewers the first week against AEW, while AEW Dynamite drew 1.409 million viewers for its premiere episode. According to Fightful, it's unknown whether AEW, TNT, or both were involved in creating the commercial. Do you think this is a desperation move? Let us know your comments down below. Next up, AEW replicates the NXT Britt Baker cameo. Now, if you were watching closely, fans of both NXT and AEW noticed a familiar scene on last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. Dentist Dr. Britt Baker was in the crowd at NXT War Games, giving a very distinct look of concern and shock as her boyfriend Adam Cole was in the ring. Well, last night she reenacted the same shot of her in the crowd when Nyla Rose was on a powerbombing spree in the ring. Shivani then mentioned, "That's Adam Cole's girlfriend." Nice. Very nice, AEW. Do you think NXT will retaliate with an AEW callback? And lastly, Seth Rollins hates the red light. Now, the Beast Slayer certainly isn't the Fiend Slayer, and it looks like Bray Wyatt's eerie red light did make things easy for Rollins at Hell in a Cell. During his recent appearance on WWE Backstage, the Architect explained, "So that was a mess for me, right? Because first of all, you're in this dark red. The cell is also red, so you're trying to navigate around the edges of the cell, and it's very tight quarters to begin with. It was a mess. It was very difficult to deal with, especially not knowing what was going to happen. I, for one, am not a fan of the red light. I think it affects my performance personally. Rollins isn't the only superstar to complain about the red light, but since this is now the third or fourth match with it on, it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. Theories have even cropped up that Bray Wyatt gains power from the light. Hopefully it ends soon, because viewers have also aired their grievances on social media about it. But there you have it, guys, the latest wrestling news. What do you guys think of the red light, and what do you think of these other stories? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.